If you have 3, 4, 5 different AWS certifications and you're still stuck at your income level, you're still making the same money. This is exactly why. And AI just made it worse. I specifically spent $3,000 on certifications and I was still broke. I was driving Uber Eats at 2 a.m. in the morning, and I was thinking that certifications is actually going to get me where I wanted to go financially, right? And so that led me to what? 0 offer letters. Not one, not any single certification got me to an offer letter. But something else got me from 35K all the way to $489,000 a year. Anything that I say in terms of any incomes that I've ever made, you can go on the link in the description below. You can go to my Instagram where you see about me. You can see my offer letters. You can see the money that was hitting my bank account. Okay, so I'm very transparent with everything that I say. And then you can see a bunch of other students that's followed the same exact step-by-step blueprint that I share. Okay, and so going back to the point, a lot of people think that certifications is what's going to get them more money. And it's not what you think. Like, it's actually insane. So a lot of people, even myself, fell into this big lie, right? Go get your certifications. My dad used to tell me, Tayo, go get your Security Plus. After I got my college degree, guess what? I was still broke. It was insane. I failed the Security Plus about 4 or 5 times. I passed it on my 5th time, and I thought this was it. No, I was still broke. I was still at the same income level. Passing a test, this is the belief that you need to understand. Passing a test does not equal offer letter. Okay. And so that's why I don't understand why people give the advice, go ahead and get your Security Plus. Go ahead and get your AWS Solutions Architect. Yes, they do help. They help you understand concepts, but you still need to build projects that can solve real world problems. Okay. And so one of my students, he had Security Plus and he did not get a single job. He reached out to me and he followed my step-by-step blueprint. There's a video that says how to make $500,000 a year. And in that video, I break down step by step how to actually learn the tech stack, build projects, know how to brand yourself to have recruiters reach out to you, and know how to communicate effectively on any job interview that positions yourself as an authority, okay, and one of the top candidates on any job interview. It doesn't guarantee you an offer letter, but it increases the probability of you getting one because you have the skills, okay? You need skills, not certifications. And AI just made it worse. Okay, AI can now study and pass certifications, right? The knowledge of of a cert, being able to pass a test does not prove that you can solve problems, right? You can know what IAM stands for, Identity Access Management. But if I say, hey, come into this business and implement least privileges and create different groups, policies attached to these groups, and be in every single department in my company, go ahead and assign different users to the groups, right? That's something typically basic. That's like an IAM engineer, what they would do, but that is a solution to solve a problem. Okay. And so that's just one example, but you need to understand, how to actually build things, how to actually solve problems. Passing a test is not going to help you. And AI being able to regurgitate any information, it's just like, that you need to be able to set yourself apart. Okay. It is insane. It is insane. There's a lot of people getting laid off, and it's because they don't have a skill set that's AI proof. Okay. And so the real formula, right, I'm going to give you guys the sauce. The real formula that gets you to 300K plus. Go ahead and take some notes. I'm going to break it down in this video. I'm going to spend the next 4, 5 minutes explaining it. Step number 1, you want to learn a specific tech stack. For me, I wanted something that was highly leveraged. Leverage just means you can make more money and work less. Okay. Cloud engineering was a job title in tech that allowed me to make more money than work less, and work less than what I was making when I did break into tech as an IT technician, because I started as an IT technician making $35,000 a year. So learn the cloud engineering tech stack. So let's rewind. Step number 1, learn cloud engineering tech stack. What is that? Okay, I'm going to give you like a high level summary. There's AWS. So let me actually pull this up so I can show you guys what I give to my private students. Okay, so there's AWS. You want to learn a cloud platform. Learn the core services, right? There's a bunch of different services, but the ones you want to start with is AWS EC2, S3, IAM, VPC, CloudWatch. Like that's going to give you a really good foundation to start from. Okay, so remember, learn the tech stack, and this is the tech stack. Learn a cloud provider, AWS. Computer networking, Linux, SQL, like SQL, Python, Terraform, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Git, GitHub. Okay. The reason why I love cloud engineering, and I said this on past videos, you don't need to learn everything about every tool. You don't need to know everything about Terraform, everything about Ansible. You need to know what it is, why it's important, why we use it as cloud engineers, and how to implement it, how to actually build something with it. Okay, once you learn these tools, you can actually put them together to build a real world solution that solves problems that businesses have. Okay, and they will compensate you for the skill set that you possess. The market will always, so if you write this down, right, light bulb moment, the market will always will always compensate you based on the skill set that you possess. As a cloud engineer, you're helping companies save millions, multi-millions of dollars, right, from the skill set that you have as a cloud engineer. Because if a company's website goes down because they don't have reliability, they can't scale when there's a lot of traffic hitting that website, like Facebook, like they went down a couple years ago and lost a lot of money. I think it was in the billions, or multi-millions. You can look it up. Cloud engineers were able to build solutions to prevent that. Okay. So let's continue. So step one, I already explained it. You want to learn the tech stack that I just explained. Step two, you want to build projects that solves real problems that companies have. You don't want to do tutorials. You don't want to do labs. Yes, you can do the labs to learn how, like the basics. This is SQL. SQL is just a programming language that you can use to query information. Okay, I can type a command, I can type a query, and I can say, give me the first name, give me this, or I can insert data inside of a database. Okay, if you go to netflix.com and you try to sign in and you type in your username and password, right, there is a database that is trying to fetch your password. Okay, and this is super important because, you know, we use these tools on our day-to-day basis, but you need to be, as you know, a cloud engineer, you're on the back end building these infrastructure. You're building the database. You're making sure that if somebody was to sign up for Netflix, it's going to be stored in that database securely. And then if somebody's trying to log in, it can go ahead and fetch that password, right? Pull it back to the front end and verify it, right? And verify, okay, this is the username and it matches the password. We're going to authenticate them to this profile. Okay. And so that's just an example, but you want to build labs, right? You know, actual solutions to problems that companies have. Step number 3, you want to brand yourself, okay? Brand yourself on LinkedIn so recruiters come to you. LinkedIn is a gold, listen, all right, come here. I can't even pull this up, but LinkedIn is a gold mine. I repeat, LinkedIn is a gold mine if you know how to use the tool. LinkedIn is a tool. You have to know how to use it. Okay. How do you get opportunities to come to you? Okay. You need to know how to brand yourself. You need to know how to communicate on LinkedIn that positions you as an authority and the solution to businesses' problems. And so talking about the solution, a cloud migration project that you've done, being able to containerize applications and deploy that on infrastructure that you've built with using Terraform. Okay. Talk about the experience that will, when recruiters see that, you know, a recruiter will go ahead and look for candidates. We're looking for someone that has X, Y, and Z. And then you just went ahead and posted the solution. Okay. You need to know how to brand yourself to attract opportunities. Step number 4, you need to learn how to communicate on interviews. Okay. You need to be able to identify the problem and communicate the solution. It's that simple. And so it's really business principles, how to market yourself, how to get recruiters to reach out to you, and how to sell yourself as a solution to their problem. Okay. And so, some of the things I want to share is some of the results of what I just told you. We have Chris. Chris was fired at his software engineer role. And I don't know when, but he joined the program in January 13th, 2026. It's May 27th, 2026. It's around 5 months, 5+ months and some change, or 4 or 5 months. My math is a little bit off, right? He went from zero to $1 million, $8,053, I believe, in offer letters. It doesn't mean that he's accepted all those offer letters, right? But he's definitely above that 500K range because he's able to work multiple contracts. And cloud engineer, remember, make more money and work less. It's highly leveraged. You're not working the whole 8 hours because you're able to build solutions, especially using AI in the right way. You don't want to expose sensitive information, but you're able to use AI to get to do the job a lot faster, right? And so Chris, he's been able to generate $1 million in offer letters in 4 or 5 months, right? If you go to my Instagram, you can see his on my highlights, right? You can scroll, you'll see Christopher, you'll see all the offer letters that he was able to get. Also, on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to leave all this in the link in the description. On my YouTube, there's testimonials, right? And so you can actually click the testimonials and see his experience. I need an update. I think the last one we did was when he was at $753,000, but I'm going to do another one and give an update in terms of the offer letters that he does have, that he's able to obtain. Okay. Now, even though this is amazing, I'm going to talk about Isaac. He's collected $1.4 million in 8 months in offer letters. Now let me be very careful with my words. He didn't collect 1.4. He was able to get an offer letter to total amount 1.4. He's not making that money. Okay. He's probably around the $400,000, $500,000 range, right? I'm sharing a blueprint to get to $500,000 a year. Okay. We have Greg. Greg started making 140K. And in a month and 21 days, 49 days specifically, he generated over $700,000 in offer letters. Everything is on my Instagram on the highlights. And then also the YouTube playlist. You can go and click on it and click on, Greg. You can see, his experience. Now, all of this stuff is crazy, but I tell everybody, this is not going to happen for you if you are not the person that is like, this has to work or it has to work. If you let obstacles and fear overcome you, you're probably less likely to get where you want to go. I hear it all the time. Some people say, oh, I don't have the time to do this. I mean, how are you actually going to get to where you want to go if it's not a priority? You need to prioritize this. You need to be able to sit down and be consistent. You need to have that decision. This is what I'm going to do, and it's just no exceptions. If you want the same step-by-step blueprint that my students have gotten, there's going to be a link, the first link in the description below. Go ahead and click the first link in the description below. We don't accept just anybody. We are very specific on who we choose. We choose people that we know we can get them results, right? You don't need a college degree. You don't need certifications. Stormy, he didn't even know what a hard drive was. He didn't even know what an IP address was, right? He's making $300,000 a year right now. Stormy, you can go to my Instagram highlights so you can see his offer letters, and on my YouTube, you can see his testimonial. Okay. And so I want to be very specific. This stuff is crazy. There's more people making a lot more money outside of my program in terms of some colleagues that I know. But it's just to say this stuff is available. Cloud engineering is a way to scale your income to pass 500K a year. And it is, I'm not going to sell anybody a dream. That is possible. People are making this money, but it's most likely not going to happen for you if you are not dedicated or you're not committed. This is not something that is going to happen overnight. If you're looking for something quick, if you're looking for something fast, this is not for you. Do not click the first link in the description below if you are not somebody that's thinking long term. If you're not somebody that's thinking okay, I'm going to commit, and you're ready and you're ready to take action. Okay. And so the list goes on. There's a bunch of other people. There's Magnus, there's Darnell, there's Omotola. There is, his name is missing from my tongue. Lucas, there we go. So you can see a bunch of different people on my Instagram and on my YouTube playlist, but everybody has different stories. But I want to just say, if you're making six figures already and you're like, I do not know how to get past 300, 400, 500K, this program is specifically for you, because you can get to the goal so much faster because you're already in tech, you're already making six figures, and the learning curve is not going to be that steep. If you are stuck and you're trying to figure out a way to go from 300K, 400, 500K plus, go ahead and click the first link in the description below. Me and my team will reach out to you if you do qualify, and we'll show you, how it works and see how, you can actually get to your goals. Now, for me specifically, I was an IT technician making $21 an hour. I was making $35K a year, and I was working 14 hours a day. Okay, it was insane. I had to travel to different BB&Ts and SunTrust. They're now Truist, and I was a part of that migration project in terms of merging to different banks. Some days I would go home at 1 a.m. because literally we could not finish the project in time. So nonetheless, that's a whole different story. But before I retired in August 8th, 2025, I was making $489,000 a year. How was I doing this? And I was working a lot less than the 14 hour days. How was I doing this? It is because I learned a high income leveraged skill. You're always going to be compensated by the skills. The market is always going to compensate you by the skill set that you have. Okay. So if you work hard on the wrong things, you're still going to be broke. You need to learn the right things. You need to learn the right things to study. That's what I got from Robert Kiyosaki in the Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Okay. And so once again, if you're a tech professional making 100, 130, 150K, and you should be making that 300K to 500K range, stop collecting certifications. Start building skill sets that actually gets you to where you want to go. Click the first link in the description below if you want to become a 1%er. That's pretty much it. That's the move. You know exactly what to do. And I'll see you in the next video.